Today's topic shapes everything from how we connect with clients to how we build long term relationships and collaborations, and also how to manage them in a way that doesn't feel defensive or pushy, but clear, strategic, and most of all, rooted in trust. Welcome to the House Up Podcast, your go to space where design, cognitive sciences, well being, and business come together. I'm your host, Monica Costa, and today you're tuning into a design business capsule, an exploration into strategies and insights that support the business behind your design practice. This podcast is powered by Hausense, born from its mission to guide designers in creating spaces for well-being grounded in cognitive sciences principles, and brought to you in collaboration with Jordi Andujar, the strategic mind behind it. Let's dive in. I still remember the first time I sent out that proposal I poured my whole heart into. Late nights, endless details, so much energy just to make it perfect. And then the only thing I got back was silence. Nothing. No reply, no feedback. Just me refreshing that inbox like maybe they would show up. And of course, back then, I thought it meant my work wasn't good enough, that somehow I had failed. I didn't realize what I was doing wrong. So honestly, every no back then felt personal. But here's what I didn't know yet. It took me some time and a lot of learning about sales too. Whether you like it or not, we're all selling our ideas every single day. So I would really suggest that you learn about selling as well. So yeah, what I learned was that most of the time, it's not about the design at all. It's about the doubts, the fears that our clients are carrying with them. The fear of making the wrong decision, the wrong choice, the fear of wasting money, the fear of stepping into something uncertain. And if you've been in this game of selling your services for some while, you should maybe now know that clients rarely tell you that. Most of the time, they just disappear or look for another excuse. Now, once I understood that those fears could actually be anticipated, that I could bring them into the conversation before they turn into silence, I stopped seeing objections as walls shutting me out and started seeing them as windows, as little openings into what my clients really needed in order to feel safe moving forward with me. And that's what I want to share with you today. Now, before we dive in, I want to pause and talk to you about why managing objections actually matters so much. The thing is that objections are the doubts, misunderstandings, and hesitations that sometimes shape the way people see you, also the way they measure your value, and ultimately that dictate your potential client's final decision of moving forward with their service or not. And when you're able to name them early, before they even surface in your potential client's mind, you remove confusion. And then you build trust. And you make it so much easier for your right clients to say yes with confidence, sometimes before even meeting you. Think about it. Have you ever decided to buy a product or even hiring a service before anyone even pitched it to you? Maybe you just looked it up on the internet. Well, that happens because the brand had already addressed the questions or objections you might have had. So by the time you were already ready, the decisions felt almost natural, informed, safe, and clear. Without needing to ask anything, you already made the decision of consuming that product or service. At Hausense, we've built a framework that helps you do exactly that same thing, turning hesitation into connection, then into clarity, and into decision. And today I want to walk you through it so you can start bringing more ease and more intention into the way you grow your design business. And hey, if you're finding this helpful, feel free to like and subscribe down there because it really encourages us to keep creating content that supports you in building a design business with more depth and clarity. Now, let me ask you something. What if rejections weren't direct no's at all, but simply unspoken objections wanting for you to name them? Let's break it down into steps. The first thing I would suggest you do is to identify the objections that are already there, long before the client even reaches out to you. The thing here is that most of the hesitations you will face don't just appear after you send a proposal. They're already sitting in your client's mind from the very beginning. And they tend to sound familiar. Things like, it's too expensive, or I don't really understand how this works for me. Or maybe they could also think like, what if it doesn't give me the results I'm hoping for? Or we're not ready yet, I'm just going to leave that for next year. And sometimes they even ask, what exactly do I gain from this? Or what if I regret this investment? No matter your niche, these doubts keep showing up. And the sooner you learn to recognize them, the sooner you can address them. Now, pause for a second, because if you're already hearing these, or maybe sensing them in the way that people respond to your proposals or your content or even your pricing, that's great because it means that you're starting to get to them. They're really considering you. But the thing is that there's a deeper layer that most people miss. The objections that show up externally often mirror the internal ones we carry ourselves. This is something that you have to work on with yourself. If you feel unsure about your portfolio, if you've questioned your own pricing, or if you sometimes worry you're not experienced enough in your niche, chances are that the energy comes through your conversations, through your branding, and even in how confidently you present your services. Let's see an example. When you share your prices, you need to be deeply confident that what they're paying for is matched and even surpassed by the value they're receiving. If you yourself feel that your pricing is too high, that hesitation is going to show, not in the number itself, but in the way you communicate it, in your tone, in your body language, in your confidence. And let me tell you, your clients pick up on that. They're trying to feel safe with you. They're trying to know if they can actually trust you to solve this issue for them, if actually it will be worth it. And then you come and give them this vibe, this unconfident vibe. Of course, the price objection is going to come in. Your duty here is to be absolutely confident in what you're offering, in knowing that you are giving them more value than what they're paying for. Now, for step number 2, it's all about preparation, anticipating. Think about it. People hesitate when something feels unfamiliar, uncertain, or hard to evaluate. And design often falls into that category. It's personal, it's abstract, and it's relatively easy for misunderstandings to creep in, right? That's why it's not enough to wait for objections to come up and then try to handle them on the spot. You actually need to build your business in a way that answers them before they're even asked. And the first place to do this is in your communication. Ask yourself, does my offer leave room for doubt? If you know that your clients might wonder why your pricing is a little higher than someone else's, don't wait for them to ask. Sometimes they don't even get there. Show the value up front, not by listing every deliverable, but by describing the outcome. You may share a before and after that highlights the emotional and functional before and after, not just the visual. Visual, any designer can do. Behavioral, not everyone can. You can talk about the lived results your clients experience. Better rest, sharper focus in their workspaces, maybe stronger connection at home. Because aesthetics are subjective, but improvement in well-being, that is tangible. Another thing that you may do is use testimonials that speak directly to the concern. Show a video testimonial where your clients are saying things like, I wasn't sure if this was the right decision, but I'm so glad I moved forward with it. It was worth the investment. The more specific you are about the process and outcomes, the less room there is for confusion. I mean, clarity creates confidence, right? And this is for both you and your client. Now let's go to step number 3, which is addressing your brand ecosystem. Because the truth is this, the best way to face fewer objections in a client's meeting is to clear them before you even get to meet them. That is how you make sure the people that come and sit in front of you are already more qualified, more aligned, and more ready to consume your service or product. Think of it this way. Your brand is already speaking to clients long before you do. Your website, your social media, your presentations, all of those touch points are either quietly answering their doubts or silently reinforcing them. And no, you don't need to be salesy. It's more like simple touch points. What do people see when they land on your website? Do they instantly understand who you serve, how you do it, and why it works? Or do they need to piece it all together themselves? If someone scrolls your Instagram or LinkedIn, do they see content that responds to their hesitations right away? Or do they feel like your services were designed specifically for them? Or like you're trying to appeal to everyone? This right here is where marketing becomes more context than content. Because when you frame your story and communication with the potential objections already in mind, you give people what they didn't even know they were looking for. Maybe they were worried about your process being too rigid, and then they see a post that highlights your collaborative approach. Or maybe they're actually wondering, what kind of results will I get from this person if I choose to work with them? And then they read a caption that shares exactly how you help clients reduce stress at home through your multisensory design approach. When you do this consistently, the right clients stop comparing you to others and start seeing you as the designer who understands what they need. Now, this becomes even more crucial in well-being design because you can't promise full transformation, but you can confidently communicate the specific impact that your spaces create. Because to be honest, you can't promise full life transformation. Actually, no one can. But you can communicate clearly and confidently the kind of impact you are equipped to deliver. You can mention that the spaces you design can help them get deeper rest, for example, or better focus in neurodiverse friendly workspaces, or maybe be emotionally grounded through sensory textures and layout. As long as you know your scope, you should be owning it. That means setting realistic expectations. It means being transparent about what you can and can't guarantee. It means referencing real research where possible, or even showing how your design decisions are informed by evidence and not just trends. And it definitely means niching down. And for this, you can check in the description below our video on how to select a top design niche for you. Being a holistic designer as a whole category waters down your message. But being a designer known for nervous system conscious interiors for highly sensitive people, that's unforgettable. Now, helping designers get this specific and optimize their knowledge and communication around these topics is what we specialize at Hausense. So if this rings a bell for you, you'll find the link in the show notes below to book a free session with us and meet to see if we're a good match. Now, here's your challenge of the week. Start by making a list of all the possible objections your potential clients might have about your service. Then make a plan to cover them in your communication. Don't wait for these clients to raise concerns. You want to little by little start building your entire communication ecosystem. Your website, your content, your presentations, your emails, and using this to actually address them as if those objections are already in the room. Because they are. And when you answer them calmly, clearly, and confidently before anyone even brings them up, you're not just reducing sales friction, you're also showing that you've done the thinking for them, that you get them. And that's when they contact you with the decision of working with you pre-made. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a fellow designer who's ready to have a healthy design business, inside out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep the conversation going every Tuesday. And as always, stay well, stay curious, and keep designing your life with intention. See you next time.